हाँ बहुत है। Join group.
Ma'am, good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am. Shall I start the session, ma'am?
Wait.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am has come. Okay, shall we start the session, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Start.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Uma, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Start.
Okay. The world is full of diamonds and gems, and here we have few of them to build this event.
Recording in progress.
A very good morning to everyone gathered here for this webinar. It's my pleasure to be an anchor of this program. It's been 7 days of 2 weeks All India Faculty Development Program on and about emerging trends in online education organized by Trinity College for Women Arts and Science, Namakkal, Tamilnadu, and Edugroom India Foundation, Kochi, Kerala, in collaboration with UGC Human Resource Development Center and Bhagat P.S.M.V Mahila Vishwavidyalaya, Haryana. Beauty is everywhere a welcome guest. I am delighted to invite Dr. Shafali Nagpal, UGC-HRDC Director, Bhagat P.S.M.V Mahila Vishwavidyalaya, University, Haryana, to deliver her welcome address. Welcome you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Ma Bharti ji.
Thank you,
Very
ma'am.
good morning to each and everyone present here, and welcome to the All India Faculty Development Program organized in collaboration with the HRDC, Bhagat P.S.M.V Mahila Vishwavidyalaya and Trinity Women College. It's a pleasure for me to introduce with all of you the respected speakers of day, Dr. Ashish Gupta ji and Dr. Bala Sahib B. Khalapure ji from Maharashtra. We have two eminent personalities amongst us today. As far as Dr. Ashish Gupta ji is concerned, he is professor and head in Department of English at Government Girls College, Betul from Madhya Pradesh. He is affiliated to the University, Chhindwara University in the Madhya Pradesh. He has written more than 106 research publications and has authored numerous books, as well as he has developed e-books as well, and has guided various research scholars. And with a experience of more than 27 years in the field of teaching and research and administration, his specializes are in Indian writing in English and diasporic studies and the post-colonial literature as well. So with all the interesting things, I think, which are associated in English, he is there with us to speak on online because he has developed, he also has the patent in his name in AI. He also, which are 3 in number. And I think the senior persons like him are an inspiration for all of us, where we can learn that learning is a constant journey. And in this phase of learning, we have to equip ourselves, skill ourselves, and keep on grooming ourselves and honing our skills for the betterment, for the development, and with the pacing and chasing the pace of the time. Because nothing goes in isolation, everything has to be in coordination, and the people like him inspire us to learn, to aspire, and to grow. Sir, we welcome you on the behalf of Trinity Women College, Salem, Tamilnadu, as well as on the behalf of the Human Resource Development Center at Bhagat P.S.M.V Mahila Vishwavidyalaya. It's a pleasure and privilege for all of us to have you here, and I am very hopeful that all the participants of this program would appreciate the learning from you, not only what you will be teaching to them, but also from your persona to aspire for the learning further. I also welcome our next speaker of the day, Dr. Bala Sahib ji, who is MCom and NET PhD, and he is also CA first, completed his first session of that. And he is working with Shri Patrao Kadam College at Shirwal, and he is working in Riyadh Shikshan Sanstha as an assistant professor in the Department of Commerce, and with an experience of 21 years. He is also the visiting faculty, and he has authored and co-authored 7 books, and he has also completed his publication 20 international research papers and 35 national research papers, and also the major minor projects. And today he will be discussing again the important topics and deliberations on online teaching, the theme of the program. So I welcome you, sir, on the behalf of the Trinity College and HRDC Bhagat P.S.M.V Mahila Vishwavidyalaya, Sonipat, Haryana. Both the states are welcoming you in this All India Faculty Development Program, where we have all our fellow colleagues and friends, those who have joined us as a participant in this program. And I hope that the deliberations which you will be presenting to them will be very useful and enhancing their knowledge in this session. So I welcome both the eminent speakers with our participants. I also welcome all the participants of this program, those who have joined us and are continuing their journey with us. I'm really thankful to both the speaker as well as all the participants for joining us, as well as Uma Bharti ji, who is coordinating on day-to-day basis for this program and managing the affairs. And also welcome Purnima, who is, I will say, the backbone of this program. Thank you and welcome again.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Shafali Nagpal ji, for delivering welcome address. Thank you, ma'am. Now I would like to call upon Miss L. Deepika, Assistant Professor of English, Trinity College for Women, to introduce our special guest. Welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning to all gathered here. No person was ever honored for what he received. Honor has been the reward for what he gave. It's my pleasure to take the opportunity to introduce our special guest of the day. He is none other than Dr. Moses Gupta, MA PhD, Professor and Head in English, Government Girls College, Teacher, Madhya Pradesh. Bhagat University, Chitwada. The specialized areas are Indian writing in English, diaspora studies, post-colonial literature. He got 27 years technical experience. He is a registered supervisor of BVV Bhopal, and he guided 3 scholars and awarded MPhil. 4 scholars have been awarded PhD under his guidance. He is a member of Board of Studies in English, Chitwada University, The man of excellence completed one minor research project under financial assistance of UGC. The man of creativity has participated in many national, international seminars, webinars, FTPs, and conferences. He has presented papers and chaired the session. The man of intelligence has served as an associate editor, member of the editorial, advisory review board of various prestigious international referred peer-reviewed journals. He has evaluated many theses and conducted PhD viva as an external expert at various renowned universities and counselor in English, IGNO. His academic activities are such as he authored 5 books, 19 edited and co-edited books, 3 ebooks. He patented 3 books and published in AI. He has published 106 research papers in various journals, anthologies and book chapters, etc. I am sure everybody is feel proud to have the session with such a wonderful personality as our today's special guest. I feel privileged to welcome our special guest today to shower us with his knowledge. Once again, welcome you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, madam.
Thank you,
sir.
ma'am. Thank you, Deepika, ma'am. To be inspired is great, but to be an inspiration is an honor. I cordially invite our generous, dynamic, inspiring speaker, Dr. Ashish Gupta Ji, Professor and Head, Department of English, Government Girls College, Madhya Pradesh, to deliver his precious address on the topic Online Education, a new paradigm for teaching and learning. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thanks a lot. Let me first give thanks to the organizing team of Trinity College for Women Namakkal, Tamilnadu, and Edugroom India Foundation, Kochi, Kerala, who have very successfully and in a very organized manner arranged this 2 weeks FDP, Faculty Development Program, in collaboration with UGC-HRDC Bhagat P.S.M.V Vishwavidyalaya, Haryana, for giving me the opportunity to deliver an expert talk. Thanks a lot to you, and I'm not taking too much time. Directly, I would like to introduce, to interact with my participants. So, hello everyone. A very good morning to you all. Ma'am, I would like to share my screen. So if you allow me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Pleasure.
Well, so my dear friends, in today's talk, I want to share with you my views on online education, a new paradigm for teaching and learning. I'm sure that since last 5 or 6 days, number of different topics have been discussed about this online teaching and learning. So I think that this is perhaps the need of the time, that if the teacher who is even not willing to cop up with the online education, he should have to go with it, because as far as the future is concerned, certainly online education is becoming more and more popular nowadays. Well, so friends, as we already know that in many countries worldwide, as part of the consequence of the COVID-19 pandemic lockdown, thousands of schools and colleges in India were closed. I think from near about March, April 2020. After the second wave of corona, far-reaching restrictions remain in place, and any prediction as to when closure will end completely and seems to be hardly possible at the moment. Consequently, teachers face significant challenges in adapting to online teaching and mainstreaming at least a minimum of communication with the students and the supporting students, their learning and their development. However, the extent to which teachers have successfully mastered these challenges and which factors are most relevant, it remains unknown, I think. As far as Josh Fleming is concerned, according to Josh Fleming, the way of teaching is changing and updating every day. So this statement, I think, seems very perfect today, as we, the teachers, are observing nowadays the crucial situation of teaching and learning. It is the demand of the situation that we have to cope up with the online education. Online learning is the newest and the most popular form of distance education. Within a year, it has had a major impact on higher education, and this trend is increasing day by day. Online learning is education that takes place over the internet. This is the simple definition. It is often referred as e-learning. However, online learning is just one type of distance learning. The umbrella term, we can say, for any learning that takes place across distance and not in a traditional classroom. The online model emphasizes an interactive learning environment designed to stimulate dialogue between the instructor, or the teacher, we can say, and students, and among students themselves. The online process requires both instructor, means the teacher here, and students to take an active role. The instructor will often act as a facilitator, organizing activities that engage students directly rather than relying too heavily on lectures and memorization. So, my dear friends, now, as my title is a new paradigm for teaching and learning. So, as far as online learning is catalyzing a pedagogical shift in how we teach and how we learn, there is a shift away from a top-down lecturing and passive students to a more interactive, collaborative approach in which students and instructor co-create the learning process. The instructor's role is changing from the sage on the stage to the guide on the side. Mind this particular statement, my dear friends. Now, the role of a teacher in online teaching is as a guide who is standing aside in place of standing before the blackboard in the traditional classroom. So, this is the thing very first we should understand. Now, as we are beginning, in the beginning, I want to share with you few methods of online courses or online teaching and learning. Very first, we will discuss about the methods of online education, and then we will proceed further about the basic main theme of this particular lecture. First method is usually called as constructivism. Now, what is this constructivism? The first method, which is called as constructivism, is actually that method or that point of view which maintains that pupil actively construct new knowledge as they interact with their environment. Constructivism is a student-centric approach in which students co-create their learning experience. This approach empowers students as active learners instead of just passive recipients, because we know it well that in a traditional classroom, usually the students are simply the passive recipients. Only the teacher is speaking and the student is listening. So he is a passive listener actually. So he should have to absorb all the information and reproducing it for standardized tests. The second method, this is called as constructionism. Constructionism is actually that method which asserts that learning is particularly effective when constructing something for others to experience. This can be anything from a spoken sentence or an internet posting to more complex things like a painting or a presentation. For example, you might read this page several times and still forget tomorrow. But if you were asked to explain these ideas to someone else in your own words or produce a slideshow that explained these concepts, you would gain a deeper impact, the deeper understanding that is more integrated into your own ideas. The last method is collaboration. As far as collaboration is concerned, this method, simply just by the word you can understand, there is a collaboration between a teacher and a student, or between two students or more than two students. As an instructor or a teacher, you focus on the experiences that would best generate learning from the learner's point of view. Now here, who is the learner? The student. So we have to understand from the learner's point of view rather than just publishing and assessing the information. I think this is new for you. Each participant in a course can be a teacher as well as a learner. You can share your experience with your teacher as a student. So everyone can become a teacher here. This is a collaboration. Your job changes from being the sole source of knowledge to being a guide and a role model. Once again, I am repeating the same thing. As far as teacher is concerned, now his role is totally changed. Now he is not simply the source of knowledge or sole only source of knowledge. From the guide, he has to be a role model now. You connect with students in ways that address their own learning needs by moderating discussions and activities in a way that collectively leads students towards the larger learning goals of the classroom. This is, in a very brief, we have discussed about the few methods of online education. Now, as far as benefits are concerned, because the very first question comes that what are the benefits? So as far as the benefits of online teaching and learning is concerned, the question arises in each and everybody's mind that why online distance learning and why now? So as far as online distance learning is concerned, it meets the needs of an ever growing population of students who cannot prefer not to participate in a traditional classroom settings. These learners include those who are unable to attend traditional classes, who cannot find a particular time or a particular class at their chosen institution, who live in a remote locations because in the rural area usually such problem persists, who work either full time and who can only study at or after work, and those who simply prefer to learn independently. So the minimum requirement for the students to participate in an online courses is simply access to a computer, the internet, and the motivation to succeed in a non-traditional classroom. Online courses provide an excellent model of course delivery, unbound by time or location, allowing for accessibility to instruction at any time from anywhere. Learners find the online environment a convenient way to fit education into their busy lives. The ability to access a course from any computer with internet access 24 hours a day, 7 days a week is a tremendous incentive for many of the today's students. So I think as far as the benefit is concerned, number of benefits are there for online education is concerned. My dear friend, excuse me, let us discuss about various advantages of online education. Some of the main advantage of online learning includes the very first, which is mentioned here in the slide, convenience. What is convenience here? The most important advantage of online learning is of its 24 by 7 access from any online computer. It accommodates busy schedules and there is no worry of commuting, no searching, no parking, etc. etc. The second advantage is enhanced learning. As far as enhanced learning is concerned, research shows that through online learning, there is increased depth of understanding and retention of course content. There are more meaningful discussions, emphasis on writing skills, technology skills, and life skills like time management, independence, and self discipline. So, all these are the advantages of the online education. Now, the third one, this is interaction. As far as interaction is concerned, all of us know it very well that interaction makes the learning better. In online education, there is increased student to teacher and student to student interaction and discussion. A more student centered learning environment is created in online education. In online mode, there is less passive listening and more active learning. Hence, a greater sense of connectedness between the teacher and the student. The fourth benefit is innovative teaching. Through innovative teaching, there is a student-centered approaches, increased variety and creativity of learning activities, and a teacher can address different learning styles. It is up to the teacher how he is updating himself. As he is being updated, he can correlate with the online education and he can use the different styles in his teaching. If we talk about the administration, in online teaching, there is the advantage of administrations also. This is improved administration. Now, a teacher gets time to examine students' work more thoroughly. Now he has the ability to document and record online interactions. And he has the ability to manage grading online. This is the benefit, I think, a very best advantage as far as online education is concerned. Because number of us are using now Google Classroom. In Google Classroom, you can upload the paper, you can evaluate the paper, and even you can give the gradings also. So, as far as administration is concerned, I think this is very much easy for the students and the teacher. Well, it is also important here to notice that the last advantage maximized the physical resources. Now it has lessened, cut down the demand of the limited campus infrastructure also and has decreased the congestion on campus and the parking lots. Because if a very reputed institution is there, then certainly the great problem is how to get admission. Now, through online education, you can, even without taking the admission into the campus, complete your course. Now, one more question rises here, that what should be the characteristic of the teacher and what should be his attitude and then what should be his teaching style. So, an online teacher should be able to accept the value of facilitated learning as equal to the traditional model. If a teacher feels the only way that true learning can take place through the traditional classroom, means of educating in a simple classroom and blackboard, the person is generally not a good fit for the online paradigm. This is okay. I'm not challenging that particular traditional pattern. That is okay. But we must be honest with ourselves. Both an accelerated learning and the online process model depend on the facilitative technique for the success. The online classroom requires new teaching strategies and instructional techniques. You should not try to recreate the on-ground classroom in the online paradigm. The person leading a successful online class must be a proponent of facilitative learning and have confidence in this particular online system. Because if you don't have the confidence, I think you are not fit for the online education. So, very first, you should have the confidence that now I have to update myself and I have to go with the online teaching and learning. In this connection, the second half of slide is mentioning about the teaching style. Let's have a look on the teaching style and habits needed to teach online. The online teacher should be open, concerned, flexible, and sincere. An online teacher must be able to compensate for the lack of physical presence in the virtual classroom by creating a supportive environment where all students feel comfortable participating, and especially where students know that their teacher is accessible. Failure to do this can alienate the class both from each other and from the teacher and would make the classroom a weak learning environment. So you have to remember that you should be supportive, you should be a guide, and you should always present to solve the problem of your students. Online students are as busy or busier, I can say, for than anyone else in today's hurried world. An online teacher should be willing to give individual attention to students who may need extra help. Being sensitive, open, and flexible is very much mandatory for the success of online teaching and learning. Now, let us go to the next slide. Here, I want to share with you few tips if you are a teacher who are willing to go with this online teaching and learning. So, with my experience, I would like to share few tips with you. First one is encourage student faculty contact through WhatsApp group or Telegram groups. Students and faculty can communicate with each other. Among other things, this allows teacher to be proactive by following up on students who are not participating either in chats or in discussions or etc. etc. Students and faculty can also communicate through the discussion forum. Second tip is encourage student cooperation. This is very necessary. As far as student is concerned, a teacher has to generate the curiosity and the interest among the students also. For that, he has to encourage student cooperation. Assignments can be created to take advantage of this particular tip. Furthermore, the discussion forum can help foster group to work and for collaboration. The another tip is to encourage active learning. Active learning also takes place when students work cooperatively. Give students more control. There is no need to become and behave like a teacher. Let student give the total control, leadership roles, and options in what assignment to complete. Whatever he wishes, give that particular assignment to him. As I have already mentioned, leave the center stage and transform yourself into a guide on the side. This is perhaps the current update. Only then the student certainly can get full interest in this online teaching learning system. One more tip is give prompt feedback. few online platforms like Google Classroom. As recently I have given you the example because I frequently use this Google Classroom for my students. A teacher through Google Classroom can send notes and assignments. Here the student can see the result of their tests and view the solutions also. Assignments can be graded immediately after the submission, and a teacher can and he should be promptly respond to the student's question. Here, the role of teacher becomes important because he should be very much prompt in satisfying his students. One more tip is there, and that is to motivate diverse talents and ways of learning. Consider giving students options as to what format to submit assignments or projects. For example, they might design a web page according to their interest, write an essay, or develop a PowerPoint presentation. Whatsoever he likes, give him that particular opportunity. As all we know, variety is the spice of life. Let me repeat, variety is the spice of life. Everyone wants change in his life. So, in your classroom, teach with the different learning styles to create interest among your students. These are few tips which I have shared with you with my own experience. Well, come to the next slide. Now, the important thing, let's have a look on these coming 2-3 slides because I am discussing about the different modes of online teaching and learning. And this is basically the main topic of my lecture. The first one is asynchronous online course. Number of times you might have heard this particular term, asynchronous online course. What is this? A fully online program most often are delivered in asynchronous format, which simply means learning does not take place live. Asynchronous online course don't have a set classroom meetings, a particular meeting times, nothing like that. Instead, students are given lecture materials and assignments to complete within a broad window, such as 1 week, 2 week, so on and so on. Online learners can access classwork 24 by 7 anytime whenever their busy schedule allow them. Although there are syllabus deadlines, asynchronous online classes largely let students establish their own pace. They have got the liberty here. Project based majors like marketing, computer science, creative writing, or public affair work, all these can be included in this particular type of mode, asynchronous mode. In short, online courses that allow students to view lectures, access materials, and collaborate with the teachers on their own schedule are called asynchronous courses. Lectures might be pre-recorded, no problem, or it may be presented pre-recordedly, whatsoever is necessary. These options could be quite helpful to students who cannot attend the scheduled sessions. In the case of asynchronous online learning, groups of students study independently at the different times and the different locations without real-time communication. Asynchronous e-learning methods are often considered to be more student-centered than other modes of learning. So this is the first mode about which we have recently discussed. Now the second mode, which is very popular, that is synchronous online courses. Synchronous. I think you can easily understand this is just opposite to the asynchronous. Literally, synchronous means at the same time. Synchronous online learning enables groups of students participate in a learning activity together. In asynchronous, we have seen that separately, in a different time, in a different schedule. Here, they have to discuss, they have to study, they have to learn together. This is the basic difference between synchronous and asynchronous. So, student, they can participate the learning activity together at the same time from any place in the world. Real-time synchronous online learning often involves online chats and video conferencing, as these tools allow training participants and teacher to ask and answer questions instantly while being able to communicate with the other participants. This kind of community oriented online learning has been made possible with the rapid development of online learning technologies. Before it, before the invention of the computer or the computer networks in 1960s, truly synchronous e-learning was practically impossible. Nowadays, this synchronous e-learning is considered to be highly advantageous as it eliminates many of the common disadvantages of e-learning, such as social isolation and poor teacher to student and student to student relationships. Synchronous e-learning is currently one of the most popular and the quickest growing types of e-learning. So this is the basic difference between synchronous and asynchronous. One more mode is here written. During last 1 year, you might have heard about the hybrid or the blended courses. What is this? An alternative to fully online course. This is called as hybrid distance learning. Hybrid learning integrates both, I repeat, both face-to-face and online coursework to maximize peer interaction. Students pursuing hybrid or blended courses must attend their college campus few times during the semester. These campus trips could be either a laboratory work or the service projects or the practical work, practicals or the seminars. Blended courses are suitable for applied courses or requiring the practices like nursing, engineering, visual arts, or the social work. In visual arts or in social work, you can take the lectures online, but as far as visit to the education places is concerned, social visit is concerned, you have to go to in campus. So this is the basic difference between these three modes. Now let us discuss about three more modes. First one, I think, is very known term, that is massive open online courses, MOOCs. My dear friends, I am giving a very brief information about the MOOCs here because during your FDP, there is one full lecture on MOOCs yesterday only. So many online courses usually charge very heavily for the MOOC courses. This massive online courses are usually exceptions as far as certain universities are concerned. In this, usually, if the student is having the internet connection and computer, then he can attend any course and with a very lesser charge, he can complete the course with any elite university. For example, I have written first one, that is Coursera. So as far as MOOCs is concerned, already there is a full lecture. So I'm not going to take too much time about MOOCs. One more mode is there, and that is flipped or inverted online courses. This flipped or inverted course means during last year, 1 or 2 year, the flipped model has been entering the online collegiate classroom. Sometimes it is also called as inverted. This flipped online course reverse what occurs during synchronous teaching, synchronous courses. Students are given content. Listen, what happens? The students are given the contents to read and video lectures to watch individually. Then online classes meet to focus wholly on case analysis on a particular topic and the problem solving session. Teacher is there to solve their problems. So what is the difference here? They are given the notes, they have to study video lectures, and if the problem comes, if the confusion occurs, then a particular time is there for the online class, and there they can discuss about a particular project and their problem will be solved by the teacher. This is the difference between the synchronous teaching and the flipped teaching or the flipped courses. The major benefit of this flipped learning is that it is active student centered course because a student becomes more involved as he come in the online class with questions. Last one more mode is there, and that is web enhanced course. It's very common for prospective online students to think web enhanced courses belong to the online teaching modes. However, these are just like the traditional courses, not very much popular. It's just like the traditional courses, but with the help of the web. Web enhanced courses still meet on campus at a specific location and time. The only difference is certain contents, components are always available 24 by 7 in website. These courses generally use both blackboards, canvas, and other systems to supplement what is learned in the classroom. So a student here in this course may post their discussions on the discussion board in the chat box, and they can communicate in the group about their problems and teacher can solve their problems. Well, now, as far as online education is concerned, this cannot be completed. This lecture cannot be finished without discussing about certain e-learning modes. As far as recently discussed online modes, which we have just discussed, let's have a very brief look about the few modes of e-learning. First one is called as fixed e-learning. Fixed e-learning is a fancy name for something you are already familiar with. Fixed in this context means that the content used during the learning process does not change from its original state, and all the participating students receive the same information as all the others. The materials are predetermined by the teachers and don't adapt to the students' preferences. Fixed means everything is fixed by the teacher, and all the students will get the same thing. No change. Second, adaptive e-learning. Adaptive e-learning is a new and innovative type of e-learning which makes it possible to adapt and to redesign learning materials for each and every individual students, taking a number of parameters such as students' performance, their goals, their abilities, their skill, and their characteristic into consideration. Adaptive e-learning tools allow education to become more individualized and student-centered than ever before. So I think that as far as adaptive e-learning is concerned, it is much more better than the fixed e-learning, because in the fixed e-learning, perhaps no communication from the student side viewpoint is concerned. But in the adaptive one, a teacher usually focus on each and every student, and according to his need, usually course design is being sent to him. The last one is interactive online learning. This interactive e-learning or e-teaching allows senders to become receivers. I think this is the best one. It allows students to become receiver and vice versa. Means a teacher can send the mail, student can also reply the mail, a student can send his needs, a teacher has to solve the problems of the student. Means this is two-way communication, effectively enabling a two-way communication channel between the two parties, means the teacher and the student, and both of these two parties are involved in this communication. From the messages sent and received, the teachers and student can make changes to their teaching and learning materials. For this reason, interactive e-learning is considerably more popular and better than the other e-learning modes, as it allows teachers and students, as I already told you, to communicate more freely with the others, means between teacher and student and between student and student. As far as Dr. Jennifer Fleming is concerned, he has given a statement, and I think truly whatsoever he said, this is true. Teaching in the internet age means we must teach tomorrow's skill today. Means this is the age of internet, and now this is the responsibility of the teacher to update himself according to the time. Now, in a very brief, let me share with you about the efforts done by the government to promote the e-learning. The very first, I think, number of these terms are known to you. So, in a very short, for those teachers who don't know about any of these terms, let me share my experience. First one is Swayam. This program is organized by, controlled by Human Resource Development Ministry, and this is of course the web enhanced course. It offers courses ranging into hundreds, and they are those which are taught at schools and colleges and at university level. The Swayam program offers digital classroom with the help of internet and satellite connectivity to the remotest corner in the country. Second one is Swayam Prabha. Swayam Prabha is another educational learning platform initiated by Ministry of Human Resource Development. It is available 24 by 7. Anytime you can access into it. And presently 32, 34 DTH channels are provided by Swayam Prabha. This initiative provides an educational program on television on multiple time zones. As far as Swayam Prabha is concerned, for the students, it is very beneficial. One more is e-Pathshala. E-Pathshala is actually a portal or app which is developed by CIET and NCERT. It was initiated jointly by Ministry of Human Resource Development and launched in November 2015. It hosts educational resources for the teachers, students, parents, educators, etc., etc. And it can also be accessed through the internet, through the web, even by the Google Play app. You can store it anywhere. The content is available in 3 languages presently: English, Hindi, and Urdu. One more is e-content courseware in UG subjects. Maximum of us are the college teachers. So for the UG subjects, CEC has developed the creation of ICT enabled educational environment by developing this e-content, especially for the UG subjects. Number of various UGC subject, the model curricula under NME ICT project of MHRD. This courseware allows 4-quadrant instructional design, which has number of e-contents, fact and questions, quizzes, references, and number of things for 87 undergraduate courses. So this is also useful for the teacher to tell to the student. In a very short, let us come to CEC UGC YouTube channel. Number of channels, video lectures made by the experienced teachers, which are available in the YouTube, and it is available every time. Today, 21 media centers are working towards achieving this goal under the umbrella of CEC. So If you search YouTube, you can get it. Another one is National Digital Library. The National Digital Library of India is a project of, once again, MHRD, and the objective is to collect and collate metadata and provide full text index from several national and international digital libraries for the relevant sources. You can search it and you can get enough information. Shodh Ganga. Shodh Ganga, number of researchers know it well. It is a digital repository of various theses and dissertations submitted in the Indian University. Basically, it is maintained by InflibNet Center, which is in Autonomous Inter-University Center in Ahmedabad, Gujarat. One more is there, and that is eShodh Sindhu. The difference between Shodh Ganga and Shodh Sindhu is both are operated by InflibNet Center, Gujarat. In Shodh Ganga, you can get the various theses and the dissertation. In Shodh Sindhu, eShodh Sindhu, you can get thousands and thousands of journals. The eShodh Sindhu is providing current and the archive access to more than 10,000 core and peer-reviewed journals and number of bibliographic citations and factual database. So for the research scholars, this is very important. Last one is FOSSEE, FOSSEE. FOSSEE, actually this is a free library and open source software for education provided by ICT, MOE and MHRD. In FOSSEE, you can get different informations related with your subject. For chemistry, there is a different source. For the physics, there is a different source. For the language teacher, different source is there. Means various source material you can collect from this FOSSEE. Just click FOSSEE in any browser and you can get different informations regarding this. Overall, the difference between online and offline classroom instruction go beyond medium alone. How teachers deliver information, interact with the students and access learning, that is more important. As far as online education is concerned, virtual environment is being created. So I think as far as today's situation is concerned, I will take only 2-3 minutes of, more. As far as today's situation is concerned, now the online education is the essential need of the time. In a very short, let us see the barriers. As far as the barriers in the online education is concerned, we observe that there are certain things which can create barriers on the way of the teachers. Under home environment setting, a lack of basic facilities, external distraction, and family interruption during teaching and conducting the assessments. These are the major issues. I too have faced number of times such type of issues. Institutional support barriers. This is also one of the major issue, such as lack of budget, technical issues. These are the barriers in the online education. So sometimes teachers' personal problems, including the lack of technical knowledge, negative attitude, course integration. These are the barriers, and a teacher who is willing to cope up with this online education, he has very first to come out from all these problems. Only then perhaps he can be very well fit in the online education. What are the challenges and what are the benefits? However, number of challenges are there and we have to come over, we have to cross those challenges, because sometimes the problem of internet is there, technological problem is there, and sometimes the participants are not very used to, especially in rural area, about the digital learning. But the benefits are more important. For those who do have access to the right technology, there is a evidence that learning online can be more effective in a number of ways. Research shows that an average student retains 25 to 60% more material when learning online compared to only 8 to 10% in the traditional classroom. So I think e-learning, online education is much more better for the present scenario. Now, uh, let me conclude. As far as nowadays education or the educational institutions are concerned, they have rushed to put their academic resources and services online, bringing the global community onto a common platform, and that is the online platform. So it is very much clear that this pandemic has utterly disrupted an total education system, and that many asserts was already losing its relevance. To get the full benefit of online teaching learning, there needs to be a concerted effort to provide this structure and go beyond replicating a physical class or the lecture through video capabilities. Instead, using a range of collaborative tools and engagement methods that promote inclusion, personalization, and intelligence. I'm summing with the quote given by Alvin Toffler. He says that the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. Means in the 21st century, there is the need of the time that even the learned teacher or the facilitator has to learn and relearn. He has to update himself. Thank you very much. If questions are there, then you are most welcome.
Thank you.
Questions.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your informative session. Really, it's very useful, sir. Thank you.
Thank
Now
you
the
very much.
forum is open to the participants. If you have any queries, you can ask, sir.
Thank you for sharing your innovative ideas, sir. All your information means a lot to us, especially during this pandemic time. It helps us to educate our students. Thank you very much for your valuable address on online education. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thanks.
Now it's time to provide feedback. I request our participants to provide their feedback. If you have any questions, you can raise.
ठीक है.
Yes, Purnima.
I think no queries. Sir, thank you so much, sir. Kindly share your slides to me, sir. I will share it to the group.
Sure. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your presence. Ma'am, Uma, ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
please will start the second session within 5 minutes, ma'am. Please wait for 5 minutes.
Okay, ma'am.
Recording stopped.